Do managed IT services include data backup, and where would those backups be stored?
Yeah, most of them do. If you get into smaller MSPs or IT service providers, they're going to be using they'll probably truly use a third-party company. So they'll tell a client, hey, so-and-so company, there's this cloud product can do what you're doing. We'll coordinate it and make sure it's running. As you start going up the stack into larger MSPs, they're going to have offerings themselves. If we look at for us, we're a SOC 2 Type 2 organization. We have HIPAA, we have all the certifications independently audited, and we have our own disaster recovery and business continuity solution built on an industry standard product Veeam. So we make sure that's done. So when we sit with a client and after an audit and we say, here's our solution, every solution we have is going to include basic disaster recovery, even if it's the basic backups with retention and quick restore. For businesses that can't afford downtime, we're going to do full business continuity, which is replication. But if you have an MSP that isn't addressing it, you have a problem. Right? Because at the end of the day, if you can't, the best cybersecurity protection on the planet is a good DR plan and a good DR backup.
Okay, so if I talk about DR, disaster recovery is recovering from an outage. Business continuity is how do I prevent an outage? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that is a fair statement, because business continuity is how do you continue running if you have a problem in one area, right? So a lot of times you're going to have a cloud provider, and this becomes hard with Microsoft and Amazon kind of coordinating all this, because if we look at Amazon is extremely powerful, right? Which is why the Fortune 1000s are, most of them are there. But it takes a lot of engineering skills. A lot of Amazon engineers, generally they're not employed by Amazon, they're private, but certified with their certs to make their stuff run with that type of replication. It's very, very advanced, very complicated. For someone like us in the the SMB space, we're providing that, replicating it across the country to another data center, and using products like Veeam for that, full replication of, say, a server operating system for business continuity. So if you have a disaster, it pretty much stays running.
Okay, so I don't have to have the biggest, most expensive solution. I have to have the right solution. There are ways to cost effectively to do this with businesses that, let's face it, budgets are tight, and everybody's expected to do more with less right now. So.
Yeah, and if we look at, say, even just a disaster recovery plan, a good disaster recovery plan or setup, they're going to have the backup, say, running to one, maybe they're geographically, for us, we have the backup, say, going to Vegas, and then it's also going to Michigan. So if there's a problem in Vegas, or if that client has a problem, in general with their specific private cloud setup on ours, although it's not full business continuity, we can generally restore within a few hours, right? So we could take that restore and put it somewhere else in another location and have that thing fully back up, and maybe we repoint them to that location. So anytime it's more than a day, there's, you definitely didn't have the right setup done. And I think we saw that with, who was that big? It wasn't United Healthcare, but it was that big provider a few weeks ago, that nationwide Valley. I think in Vegas it was Valley, but they were part of that nationwide healthcare company, that they were down for a few days, and they're actually looking at potentially not recovering data for 2 weeks worth of data across a 30,000 person organization. And they didn't test their DR plan and business continuity plan. And that's multi-billion-dollar organization.
Yeah, not going to be a fun day for them.
No, I wouldn't want to be that CIO.